Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Love. I hope you guys are doing great and are safe. So in today's video, as you can see from the title, I will be going in details about how to get your G1 license in Canada. So for those who don't know, G1 license is basically your learner's license that you get before your driving license when you come to Canada, or if you're already in Canada, and is also very important to have with you. So this video, I know there are already a lot of videos about this, but I do my own research and I also share my own particular experience about my exam and how it went. So this video will actually be a guide on everything you need to know about your G1 license, so you don't have to look outside. And we will be covering topics like the fees for the exam, where you get the appointments, what happens if you fail the exam, the questions that are asked in the exam, and where actually you need to look and to prepare for this exam, so you don't have to be confused on the material as well. And we will also be talking about some of the mistakes that you can avoid when you're writing this exam, and then I will share my personal experience as well. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. And if you still have any more questions by the end of the video, make sure to leave a comment, do like the video, do subscribe to the channel. And before I continue, I would also like to give a quick shout out to today's sponsors of the video. So as many of you know, I'm a huge fan of Skillshare when it comes to learning and exploring new skills. But for those who don't know, Skillshare is an amazing platform when it comes to learning and exploring new classes. It is an online learning platform and a community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people like you and me. They have classes and videos on topics like illustrations, photography, freelancing, designs, and so on, so you can explore new skills, develop existing passion and interests, and get lost in creativity. So for an example, to explain a little better, for this month I decided to do a course on how to organize your workflow to maximize productivity by Ali Abdal, who's a doctor and one of my favorite YouTubers. And I really learned and enjoyed this course. Especially I learned a lot about maximizing my own productivity, managing my timelines, deadlines and schedules, as I was really lacking behind, and I really wanted something like a course to actually help me out to plan my schedules, to make to-do lists, to use calendars efficiently, set reminders efficiently on how I can manage my schedule and workflow. And as you can see, this course has covered all of those details, and the best part about this course is that the videos were short and crisp, so you guys can check them out as well. Another important thing that I learned about from this course was about overcoming my inertia. Like, I have this lazy attribute in me, and how to overcome that was actually one of the best and important topics that was in this course, and I was able to overcome that. Let me actually also show you one of the live examples that I have been using that I've taken from this particular course. So let me show you my calendars that I have been using at my home right now. So as you can see, I have this photo of the calendar that I have been using in my room after getting inspired from this course. I decided to buy this particular calendar to write everything about my schedules, all my deadlines for the assignments, videos and everything at all. And then I also got these small tiny calendars to stick to my fridge, so I can actually wake up in the morning and look at them as the first thing in the morning, so I know exactly what I would be doing for my day, and set goals for the entire month, so I meet all the deadlines on time. And they have actually helped me a lot from this particular course. Also, one of my favorite things about Skillshare is that it is curated specifically for learning, which means there are no ads and they're always launching premium classes, so you can focus on studies and exploring your new skills and follow wherever your creativity takes you. And the first 1,000 of my amazing subscribers to click on the link in my description gets a free 1-month trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. Once again, thanks a lot for Skillshare for sponsoring today's video, and now let's move on to our video. Alright, let's talk about the G1 license and how you can get it. So basically, G1 license is a learner's license, like I mentioned, which is obtained by doing a knowledge test at a driver test location. And you need to just do the written knowledge test about the road signs, signals and the rules and regulations of the road to obtain your G1 license before you can go and apply for your G2 license, which is the driver's license. Now with G1 license, you can drive a car, but only when you're accompanied with a person who has a full G license and at least 4 years of experience. Now there are other requirements on how you can drive and when you can drive with G1 license. I will leave the link down for that in the description, so you can go ahead and read about that. But moving on, let's talk about the G1 license written exam. Now let's start from the step 1. Where exactly do you write this written exam? So like I mentioned, you write these exams at the driver test location, and there are a lot of driver's test locations near your area. So all you have to do is basically just go on Google Maps, look up driver's test location near me, and you need to just show up there and write the G1 license exam. Another important thing about this is that there is no appointment necessary for these exams, so you can literally show up as a walk-in, and you do not need to have an appointment at all. Now, another important thing about this is, so for example, let's say the driver's test location near you opens up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it is a very useful tip to save your time. If it opens at 8 o'clock in the morning, I would recommend you guys to show up at 8 o'clock in the morning so you can get your test done as soon as possible, because trust me, in the afternoons, these places get really crowded and you might have to wait at least 1 to 2 hours, which is the same mistake I did when I went to write my Jeevan license, and I actually went there at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and I only got my chance to write the exam around 2 o'clock, and I had to wait for 2 hours. So make sure you go there early in the morning so you can get it done right away. Now, this exam takes anywhere between 25 to 30 minutes to finish the exam. Good thing about this is that there is no time limit, but it doesn't take more than 30 minutes if you know all the answers to the questions. We'll talk about the preparation on how to prepare for these questions in a little bit. But moving on, let's talk about the documents that you would need to bring with you to the driver's test location to write the exam. Now, there are 3 main important documents that you need. Number 1 is your 2 pieces of photo ID. Now, you need 2 pieces of photo ID, out of which one of them could be your passport, and the second one could be anything, like could be your driver's license from India, could be your college ID or a card from your college, or a health card, or anything at all that shows your photo and an identification. So that's the first document. The second document that you need to show when you go and write the Jeevan exam would be the money that you need to carry to pay the fees for the exam. Now, we'll talk about the total fees and everything in details in the next step. So that's the second thing you need to carry, the money. And the last thing you need to carry is your pair of glasses or the contact lenses that you wear, because they do take a quick eye exam for you as well before you write the exam. Now, I remember in my case, when I was registering for the Jeevan exam, they took a photo of me and they also took a quick eye exam, and it was very easy. It was not as hard. So make sure you carry your contact lenses and glasses with you when you go to write the Jeevan exam. So these were the documents that you need to carry to go to the official driver's test location to write the exam. Moving on, let's talk about the fees that you need to pay for the Jeevan exam. And let's say in case you're unable to clear the exam in the first attempt, what would be the fee for the second attempt, and so on. Let's talk about that. So as you can see on the side of the screen right now, it will show you the exact fee that you need to pay, which is $159.75, and it does say that the cost includes the knowledge test for the Jeevan exam, a Class G2 road test to earn your G2 license, and a 5-year license. This fee is payable at the time of application now. The benefit of this fee is that you are paying for the Jeevan exam and you are paying for the G2 driver's test right away with this fee. So whenever you do the driver's test for G2 license, you do not have to pay any more fees again. But again, there is a waiting period to get your G2 license after you write the Jeevan license, which we'll talk about in the next step. But this is the fee that you're paying at the moment when you go to write the Jeevan exam, which is $159.75. Now, let's say you fail a section of the exam, or you fail the exam and you need to do it again. Now, just for the knowledge test or to do an extra attempt, you would be paying $16 more, which you can see on the bottom right now. That's the only amount that you're paying again to write the exam again. Now, another tip I have for you for this is, let's say you fail a section of the exam or you fail the exam and you need to reattempt. Don't go home. You can literally just go out of the center and join the line back in again to write the exam again, because at that time you have all the knowledge fresh in your brain, so you don't have to go back home and revise everything. You literally just have to stand in the line again, pay $16 for the section that you failed, and go in and write the exam when you pass. These written examinations are usually valid for 1 year, but it would be beneficial if you write that exam right away in case you do not pass in the first attempt, which is actually very common, so you do not need to feel bad about that at all. Now, talking about the details and specifications of the exam and the sections like I mentioned. So this exam basically has 40 questions in total, 2 sections of 20 questions each. So section 1 is basically your road signs and symbols that you need to know. Out of those 20 questions, you need to have at least 16 questions correct, and you're only allowed to have 4 questions incorrect to get you at 80%. And then the next section is basically your rules and regulations of the road, which also has 20 questions. Now, the same thing for that is you need to have at least 16 questions correct out of the 20 to get a passing grade. So you need to have an 80% score of overall, and you need to have 80% in each and every section to pass the license exam. Let's say, for example, in section A, which is the road symbols and signs. Let's say you got 15 correct instead of 16 and you fail that section, and let's say you get 17 or 18 correct in the next section, you would still fail that particular section and you would need to rewrite that section, and you would need to pay, like I said, $16 for that exam. But again, it is not a very hard exam, and it is very common for some students to like make silly mistakes, and they might have to reattempt the exam, which is not bad again. So to clear the exam, all you have to do is basically memorize some questions and you can do the exam easily. Now let's talk about the preparation for this exam and exactly what you are looking for and where you need to find all the information for the exam. So one important thing that I would like to tell you, and there's one myth that I would like to solve here, is that these exams, the questions are not difficult at all. They're not confusing. They're not trying to twist it or trying to make it difficult for you. These questions are as direct as it can be, and all you have to do is memorize a certain section of questions, literally memorize each and everything and go there and write the answers to those same exact questions. Now there are two ways from which you can prepare your exam from. Way one is to go online on the Ontario's website and get the driver's official handbook. I will leave a link in the description for you guys, and that's exactly what I used to prepare for my exam. So you can literally go on the website, on Ontario's website. You have an online version of the driver's handbook where you can literally learn all about the road signals and signs and the rules and regulations and everything you need to know about the G1 license exam. And all you have to do is go there, memorize each and every sign, each and every question that you need to know for this exam. That will actually help you to pass this exam, and only write this exam when you feel comfortable enough after you learn all these symbols. The second way I prepared this exam is from including the driver's handbook is by this particular website, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. So I will leave the link for this in the description as well. It's free and I have no connection with this. It's just from my personal experience that I used this link to practice some questions, and it actually helped me a lot. And the questions were literally similar to this. So this website basically has a lot of practice quizzes and questions and tests for the G1 license. As long as you're able to attempt these, learn these and get them all correct, there is no way you will fail that exam, and this is all you need to know to prepare the exam for the G1 license. Moving on, let's talk about the validity of your G1 license. So for those who haven't seen this, this is how your G1 license will look like. It will be a piece of ID, which is also very important for you in Canada. So let's say you're going anywhere at all and anyone asks for a piece of ID, you can definitely show this to them, and it's very beneficial. And the G1 license is actually valid for 5 years, so you have 5 years to get your G2 license and the G license. I will make a specific video explaining all the steps you need to know to get the G2 license and the G license. But from now, what you need to know is there is usually a waiting period of about 8 to 12 months that you have to wait after you write the G1 exam to be able to appear for the G2 driver's exam. So now the next tip, which is very important that I will give you guys, is also one of the mistakes that many students make, is that they don't write the G2 exam as soon as they come to Canada. So the tip here is that as soon as you come to Canada, make sure you write the G1 exam right away. Make sure you prepare for it and write it right away, because after that you will have to wait anywhere between 8 to 12 months. If you are a beginner, like if you're 18-19 years old, there will be a waiting period anywhere between 8 to 12 months. And if you're looking to get a G2 license and to buy a car soon, you would not want to wait 8 to 12 months. So make sure you write the exam right away. Now the next important tip about this is make sure if you do have an Indian driving license, make sure to bring that with you to Canada. So you need to have your Indian driver's license and your DL extract. Now they do ask that you add the driver's test location when you're registering for the exam, like they did for me. So I'll explain that to you easily with my example. So I had an Indian driver's license which I got 4 months before I came to Canada. So the lady who was registering me for the exam asked me if I have any other driving experience or a license, and I told her yes, I have an Indian driver's license and I got it 4 months ago. So she said, okay, you have 4 months experience, so now instead of waiting for 12 months, you only have to wait for 8 months. So they actually, the driver's license actually helps you to reduce your waiting period to get your G2 license. So again, make sure you have your Indian driver's license and a DL extract, so you can bring it with you to the driver's center if you have one, to reduce your waiting period of time. And yes, basically that was all of the information that you need to know about the G1 license exam. We talked about the location, we talked about the documents required, about the fee, about how to prepare for the exam, what type of questions are in the exam, where to prepare it from, and all the small tips and tricks and mistakes that you can avoid to get your G1 license successfully in Canada. And again, if you do have any more questions about anything at all related to the G1 license or G2 license, make sure to drop down in the comment and I will get back to all of you. Do leave a like to the video, guys. It helps promote the videos. Do subscribe to the the channel for more videos like these. It motivates me as well. And again, if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments. In the meantime, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.